Perfect.
Hopefully everyone's having a good day today. Welcome in, guys. Tips for Gamers here. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the top sleeper quarterbacks that you need to get in Madden 22 franchise mode. These quarterbacks are going to save you tons of money, perform very well. You're going to be able to use them in user play and in simulation. Leave us a like and a comment down below. If you don't know what to say, you can say like scoops or something like that. That was the first thing that popped to my mind. It's kind of weird, but we're going to roll with it. And don't forget to get merched up. It's time to look good, look saucy, and feel great. Now let's talk about the first quarterback on our list. He's not the best quarterback, but he's a quarterback that we like on this list, and that is Daniel Jones. Otherwise known as Danny Dimes or Danny Stumbles, whichever one you want. So fast, his legs give out. So the reason that Daniel Jones made it onto our sleeper list is just due to the combination factor of his overall, his age, and his development, and his traits. Some of his traits are a little bit shaky. We'll go over those. But this guy is a great sleeper QB in the right hands. Now, the thing about Daniel Jones is one of the toughest quarterbacks in the NFL. This dude has no issues taking hits. He took hits the entire time at Duke, and he will continue taking hits in the NFL. However, it really does make him oblivious in the pocket, his sense of no fear. And you see that in real life, and you actually see that in Madden. So this is one of the first times that Madden gets things right, and he does have a oblivious sense of pressure trait, which is very unfortunate. You are going to find a much better quarterback because really there's not a lot of traits that matter with quarterbacks that are going to affect you. Tight spiral, predictability, even the penalty tendency, unless he's blocking for you somehow and gets a holding call. Maybe he throws an interception and gets a face mask. Something of that nature. It's really not going to affect you all that much. His personality, he's charismatic, so maybe he gives a lot of hugs when his boys are down. Who knows? So with user play, you're definitely just going to feel the nastiness of his attributes. He's got an 87 throw power, which you will be able to get up over time. He'll be in the 90s, probably a 91, roughly around there. And deep throw accuracy is an 85. So he's got a pretty fantastic deep throw accuracy. His short throw accuracy is an 86. Mid throw is an 81. Still all well within the parameters of being successful. His awareness, don't really care about that all that much. Throw on the run, play action, under pressure. Under pressure is more the one that you want for user play on that. And then you got this nasty speed here. If you turn down the speed threshold to 0, which you definitely should do, it makes the game more realistic. It feels really nice to have him back quarterback here. There is one downside, is his COD is not super amazing, but it's not super terrible. It's 77, so he's not super loose in the ankles and in the hips, it feels like. However, in a straight on burst, it is going to be hard for guys to catch up to him who aren't super fast. D linemen, for the most part, are just not going to be able to catch him in full stride. It's just not going to happen. Just be careful because he may trip. But his injury is an 89. I do like to see that. You want to see that as much as possible increase, the better your team does. His stamina is an 82, which in the quarterback realm is actually better than quite a significant amount of other quarterbacks. His toughness is a 94, which I do believe Madden got this correct. In reality, that's just if the guy gets injured, he's going to come back sooner than other quarterbacks would. But what you're seeing also in simulation, if you could get past the oblivious sense of pressure, is that this guy has a lot of attributes that can make him a very deadly quarterback and win you some Super Bowls. This is a guy that we recommend looking for. He's very easy to trade, and he is a guy that you can work with if the right team is around him. You're going to need a good offensive line. You're going to need good receivers. You're going to need a team that is going to help him succeed, because if you put him on a sleeper team, it is going to be difficult. Now, the next guy on our list is Drew Lock, the guy who just got benched for Teddy Bridgewater. Drew Lock is also another very large human being, 6'4", 228 pounds. The guy is not small. 2-year pro, 24 years old, 70 overall normal dev. He was drafted in the same draft class as Daniel Jones, McTrippy. And, he's got a lot of potential in certain ways, but he's got things that do hold him back. Now, Drew Lock would technically be better served in most user play styles. He can be good in simulation as well, but once again, you do have to have a good team around him. And, the Broncos as an organization are very tough on quarterbacks. They've had a lot of good quarterbacks come their way. So when a quarterback is not performing at a very high level, it's going to be tough on them, and that is in real life. But there's a lot of things that I like about him. So in user play, he's definitely not going to be too terrible. In simulation, not going to be too terrible. But once again, in simulation, you're going to have to really have good guys around him, and you can't be as lenient as if you are user playing with him. He's got a tight spiral, aggressive enforcing passes, which I like. Average sense of pressure, I do like that. Throws the ball away. I also like that because he is not super fast, and it is going to be hard for him to really get out of the pocket. He does have an 81 COD, which is nice to see, but 89 throw power. His deep accuracy is not as good as Daniel McTrippy at a 79. 80 medium accuracy and an 84 short accuracy. Throw on the run, under pressure, play action, all looks good. He's got a 71 break tackle, fantastic. But stamina, 77. You're going to see this a lot with these quarterbacks. Injury, 91. Toughness is 92. He is a tough quarterback. But there's a lot of things that I like about him. He's got a good combination of a little bit of speed. He's got a strong arm. I even think his arm would probably be more of a 92 if you were to actually grade him correctly, but Madden kind of docked him a little bit here and there. And Madden's also trying to get the overalls to fit their narrative on what they believe the quarterback is, so they're going to have to give or take some of these to make him, fit that overall. However, they could have taken a little off the awareness and given him more throw power. Probably what I would have done. However, he's still a sleeper quarterback that we recommend you looking out for. He's easy to trade for, like we mentioned, and he's a quarterback that can get the job done in the right system. The next guy on our list is Jordan Love. Now, Jordan Love doesn't technically look like a sleeper, but you being a one-year pro at a 68 overall still gives you a uphill battle when it comes to really being a franchise quarterback. And there are some things about him that I really love, and there are some things about him that just kind of make it hard in our testing. We tested him out, and when you actually watch the games in simulation, it's a little bit frustrating in certain ways, a little bit frustrating, and that is just something we noticed. Now, he is very good at user play. That is one thing. He's got a cannon, 90 throw power, 80 deep, mediums is 79, so it's a very balanced throw accuracy across the board. 84 short accuracy. His awareness is where it was docked. Now, this should show you that he's actually a pretty good quarterback. When they start docking his awareness and giving him some of the other attributes, Madden sees something in him, and Madden likes him. So that's a key indicator that you got a decent quarterback. Good in simulation, or good in user play. A little bit worse in simulation. He can be great in simulation, just depending on how you sim is also very important. His traits I like. Ideal sense of pressure, aggressive enforcing passes, tight spiral. In reality, there's a lot, he doesn't have the predictability trait. Oh, well, I'm not going to cry about it. Balance and penalty tendency, I really don't even care about that when it comes to quarterbacks. But throw on the run, play action under pressure, I like to see that. His break sacks a 70. It's not as quite as good as Drew Lock's, but it is what it is. His injuries a 96, which I like to see with the +4 going on there. 84 stamina, and that's actually pretty nice when it comes to most of the quarterback stamina ratings. They're just not that great. Toughness is an 89. You're going to see a lot of these quarterbacks with some decent toughness here. But all in all, this is a quarterback that you can trade for easily, somewhat easily, and you'll be able to get a guy on that can do wonders onto your team if he is in the right situation. Once again, he's going to have a team around him who can play, because if he doesn't have that team, you are going to have a few rough years to where it's going to be a little bit of a struggle for you. Moving on to the next guy on our list is a guy I really like. This guy has the potential to actually be pretty terrifying. He's surprisingly really good at user and simulation. I like this guy quite a bit, and that's Kellen Mound. Good throw power. Now, what starts to make him A sleeper is the deep accuracy, the medium accuracy. Some of those things that you're like, okay, you got great short accuracy, but when it's throwing downfield, that's a problem. And you don't want your quarterback a one-dimensional thrower where he just can only throw short accuracy, and that's really it there. Throwing the run under pressure, play action, all okay, but he's got that speed mixed with that throw power, which is an 88 throw power. That is a perfect bar. Anything below an 88 throw power, you can start to get shaky. I mean, if you're at an 87, not too terrible, but you're starting to get to that 84 mark, 85 mark. That can make things pretty tough for you, and it could be an uphill battle for you. So he fits that bill of just throw power, speed combination. 85 speed, this guy's not slow. The other thing too, what we notice about him is he's got that agility. His COD's a 79, so he's a little bit loose in the ankles. Average sense of pressure, throws the ball away. Aggressive enforcing passes, which we do like. He's going to throw more interceptions at first, but when you calm that down, he's going to be more of a Brett Favre is what you can do with that. Probably not the throw power. Will never get to a Brett Favre status, but at least he has the ability to work his way out of the pocket. Now, this is also a guy we recommend working on his improviser as well and start to get that up. You don't want him to be a pure scrambler, nothing like that. But all in all, good injury, good stamina, good toughness. I mean, this guy has a lot of areas in which he can really succeed, and we're going to put him on a good team and see how he does. Now, the next guy on our list barely made it onto the sleeper list, and that's Jamie Newman. You can find him on the free agency. He's a 60 overall. Now, there are definite areas at which this quarterback struggles. There's no question about it. 86 throw power, not super amazing. He has a trait of oblivious and sense of pressure. However, if you're user playing with him, this guy can actually do some amazing things. Now, even in simulation, we ran tests on him, put him on some solid teams, and it was actually more impressive than you would think. And he barely squeaked his way out on this list. Barely squeaked his way out on this list here. Aggressive enforcing passes, do like to see that. Tight spiral, added bonus. But an 86 throw power, he barely made the cutoff with that. You know, you start getting to that 85, 84, you're starting to really push it. You either need a hell of a lot of speed, you need to kind of be more of the Eagles quarterback, Hurts, but, you know, he doesn't have quite that speed there. He's got good acceleration, so once he's up and going, you know, he definitely can get first downs. He's not going to run a 60-yard, you know, nasty on you, but he's a quarterback that can actually perform well, and you have to put him on a very good team. So if you, let's say you are the Tennessee Titans, let's say you're the Kansas City Chiefs, let's say you're in one of those Goliath, you know, organizations where they just have talent upon days, you know, even the Bucks, you can put them on the Bucks. This is a quarterback in a simulation format who could surprise you. In a user format, you know, that's more up to your skill set, but injury, toughness, I like to see that. Stamina is a 76, not too terrible. COD is an 80, so he's a little bit loose in the ankles and in the hips. But all in all, this is a guy who's like really just squeaking out there, and we're going to have better guys coming up on the list here. But this guy is more impressive than they thought, and he barely made it onto the list, but nonetheless, he's on the list. A outstanding user play quarterback that you can get extremely cheap. Now, in the right system, he'll bump up about 10 points a year. So if you can add that up, you're going to end up being a decent quarterback in no time, you know, before he's too old. And you're going to get him extremely cheap, which is nice. And he's humongous. 6'6", 234 pounds, rookie out of Arkansas. Normal depth, 59 overall. You look at him and you're like, well, you know, what's so amazing about him? If you look at his archetypes, you could fit him in multiple different archetypes here. Strong arm, scrambler, field general, improviser. So he fits basically any archetype that you want to put forth on your team. But user play here, 90 throw power. I mean, that is right out of the gate. That's pretty nasty. 84 speed, 86 acceleration, 78 agility. His COD's a 79. Going down the list here, injury is an 89. Stamina's a 78. Toughness is an 88. A lot of things that I like. Now, in a simulation format, you can make him successful, but just know if you do not have the players around him, it can get tough. It really can. It can get really tough. In fact, we're doing an Atlanta Falcons rebuild, and we're rebuilding with him. and you can kind of see that, and it's been tough. So we'll end up posting that video and you guys can see that. But I love his traits for the most part. I mean, he really does have great traits. I don't really care for the throw away trait. However, it is what it is, and it's not gonna make me shy away from him. Average sense of pressure, ideal in forcing passes. That part I'd rather see aggressive, but oh well, it's still a quarterback. He can break records. I mean, he honestly can. This is a quarterback that if you are on a really good team, you're on that Ravens team, you're on the Chiefs, you're on, several really good teams, even the Cowboys, you can, add a lot of different teams up to him. This is a guy who can do very well within 3 years and turn that overall around. I really like this guy. I would like to see him do well. And the one area here that you see that makes him technically a bad quarterback is his awareness. So what Madden did was they dropped his awareness down to feed the other traits. They're saying he's a good quarterback, but he just doesn't know his hand from his foot. And that brings us to Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley is 6'1", 205 pounds, 23 years old, 1-year pro out of Utah. Normal development, 58 overall. When you look at him, he's not super amazing. He's kind of like Felipe, just a lot smaller. His traits are pretty fantastic for simulation. Not super amazing, but still impressive. Ideal in forcing passes. Okay, I'd rather have aggressive, but ideal in forcing passes is the next best thing. He's ideal in the sense of pressure. He's not going to freak out back there. Tight spiral, so an added bonus. He's got a COD of 81. He's got pretty fantastic speed. Injury, stamina, toughness, basically the same as most of the other guys. And his throw power, he's an 86. So you're starting to see the same rhyme and reason for all these guys and why they made it onto the list. You're seeing the 54 awareness, which means that, he doesn't know his hand from his foot. Madden lowered it down, put his attributes in other areas. So he's really not that bad of a quarterback. He just doesn't really have that much awareness going on there. Decent break sack. His throw power will get up close to a 90, and that will be plenty fine for you to be able to be successful with him. So the last guy on our list is by far one of our favorites, and that's Cole McDonald. Cole McDonald is a 57 overall QB on the free agency, so no one's really going to fight you for him unless they've seen this video. He's 6'3", 215 pounds, 23 years old. He has plenty of time to grow into a great quarterback. 1-year pro out of Hawaii, normal dev. You're going to get this guy cheap. 1-year deal, $950,000. In fact, we did a 1-year simulation rebuild with him on the Kansas City Chiefs just to show you how good this guy is. And if you guys have not seen that video, it'll pop up in your top right. You have to check out that video. We're also doing a Lions rebuild with him, and you got to check out that video as well because he is just deadly. Now, in simulation, you got to have a good team around him. If not, you're going to be struggling. You're going to have your ups and your downs. And that's just the way it is with any sleeper quarterback that you have. In user play, this guy is, you can to the moon is basically what you can do with him. He's got an 88 throw power. His deep accuracy is a 72, which is His medium accuracy is 71, and his short accuracy is a 76. Throw on the run, 77. Throw under pressure, play action, all is like, it's okay, but here you go with that speed. 86 speed, 88 acceleration, and 80 agility. So he will be able to get you first downs with his legs, no question. His COD is not super amazing, so he's a little bit tight in the ankles and hips at a 73, but that's okay. Trucking, don't even think about it. His injury, stamina, and toughness, all well within the parameters of being successful. You're not seeing a huge problem here. If he was injury prone, that's definitely something I'd worry about. But even in simulation here, aggressive enforcing passes, average sense of pressure, team player, woohoo, that's great. Tight spiral, added bonus. This is a quarterback that is just impressive in every which way, and a quarterback that we highly recommend that you guys pick up if you had the right team, if you're more of a skilled user on simulation or user play. Either way, this is a guy who is impressive.
Perfect.